What's up? Okay. It's the thing where it's live, but like no one's here yet, so we're just gonna like hang out for a second. But cool.
Dylan, you're looking very beautiful today, if you don't mind me saying.
Whose name did you say?
Dylan,
I
and
was gonna assume it was Dylan, but
Ko's looking pretty good as well. But like,
Your mic did that thing where it cut out, so I didn't hear the name. I
yeah,
don't want to immediately be egotistical and say, "Oh, thank you."
your eyes are very are popping today on your computer monitor. It's very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You look good too, Caleb.
oh,
I like the mustache. Yeah.
Yeah. I did get a new tattoo today.
Oh, I look. Is that a Star Wars tattoo?
No, it's the Blue Lantern logo from DC.
Oh, okay, that makes. I was like, it looked like the Imperial logo, but I was like, I was getting my fandoms mixed up. I feel bad.
Nah. I mean, I don't blame you. It's not like this has been in a movie yet. Like this, Blue Lanterns have like been on the animated series and nothing else. Yeah. What's up, Bruce? So those rankings on the website. Yeah, don't worry. Things are gonna get updated here soon. If they haven't been already. I know I gave Nick a link of stuff. Anyway, people are starting to file in. So hi guys. Welcome to our much less Feige-esque town hall. Nick is like super good at like presentation, this, that, and teases, and we're like, "What's up? How you doing? You guys look good."
They did higher budget than we do.
Yeah. Basically, Nick and Tim are so much better at this than we are, but we're just like we're like the like laid back younger brother that's like we'll do what you do.
Yeah, we just kind of show up randomly and then peace out. And we're like, all right, enjoy the matches.
Cody doesn't even want to show up to these. He's like, you guys do it.
Yeah. Cody's like, whatever, you guys do it. Anyway, as people file in, thank you guys for making Mayhem at the Multiplex 7. I think the best Mayhem we've done. Everyone always says like, oh, this year's was the best, and you guys made it that way. I think genuinely this is the best one we've ever put on. It was the most emotional one we've ever done, and we'll talk about that up top. But you guys are the reason for that. Insane view count. It like crushed. So that was really exciting. Belt changed hands at Mayhem, I believe, in almost every division except for the ones where the champ defended with a caveat.
Right.
So, Fandom teams.
Fandom teams is the only one where the champions are still in place, but it's again with a caveat.
Sticking around.
They're different. Everything is different coming out of Mayhem, which is why Act 4 is called Brave New World. But before we talk about the Brave New World, we're going to talk about what happened at the Old World, Mayhem. So Fandom covered it. If you want to see what Fandom's doing, they talked about it yesterday. They're much more well-organized and planned out and do crazy fun shit, and I love them for it. They're amazing. Their presentation was dope. So if you haven't watched it, check it out. But on our end, the belt changed hands in the singles division for the fourth time this season. We have our fourth new singles champion in a row. Cameron Holtzman beat Jeremy Adams at Mayhem to be the singles champion, which is really cool in the sense that Cam has never been a champion. Now he gets to say he's been one in an arena that we all would have assumed he'd played for it by now. So it's kind of a cool moment for Cam. But also means our continual streak of hot potato continues now that since Boatman retired with the belt, no one's defended, and it continues. Everyone gets the defense opportunity and drops it to the next.
Yeah, was this our fourth champion this year now?
Fourth, yeah. Fourth consecutive title changing hands in singles. We'll see if that continues in Act 4, which I think there's obviously always a chance, but a lot of cool people playing for the belt in Act 4. We'll get to that soon. What did you guys think of Jeremy versus Cam?
Yeah, you go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a really fun match. Obviously, I believe, was it me and you, Dylan, that were hosting that match? Or was it...
yes.
Okay, yeah, we did. Sorry.
So you're talking about anime.
Yeah, you're right. We
Sorry, you were talking about anime.
Whenever I talk about anime, it's usually with Dylan on the board because he looks at me like I have no idea what the fuck we're talking about. But no, that match was super fun where, like, out of round one, out of round two, both competitors were so equal. And then there just came a moment where just Cam put his foot on the gas and Jeremy just could not catch up. I was wondering how the new round 4 was going to work. It was going to favor certain competitors, and props to Cam. He bet on every single question that he hit, and he sat out every single question that he ended up not knowing. So he played that brilliantly, and it's always kind of bittersweet, in my opinion, when a title match ends in a knockout. But when you have someone like Cam who has been in these leagues for 5 years, he has never won a belt in either Melee Fandom or FanZone. I think you could see in that moment just how excited he was to finally reach the end goal, now being the new champion.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that was really special about just this Mayhem overall was it felt like a culmination of like many of the past years, where it was like not in the singles title. We had Cameron, who's been around since 2019, which I believe is the first canon season that we consider here.
The true season one,
hadn't challenged for a singles title. Got his first challenge this year, and he was able to get it done. That was a really, really cool story. I think that was his first title just in Multiplex, period, which is kind of crazy to think about.
That's his first championship in his career,
Yeah, so that was really cool. Part of me wishes this wasn't the match where he introduced the new round 4, just because I think going into round 4, that match was like electric and so high scoring up until that point, where like both players had like spun their strength and gone 10 for 10 in round 2. And then Cameron started to pull away in the deep cuts round. And yeah, unfortunately, from there, it just kind of snowballed for Jeremy with the new round 4, where maybe he was playing on tilt at that point, where there were like certain questions where I was reading in the doc and I was like, I think Jeremy's going to hit this. And he missed the Oscars one. He missed the 70s one, like back to back. And it was looking pretty rough for him. And yeah, Cameron got the knockout. One of the most, I think, impressive performances I've seen in a singles title match in quite some time. Like, it was pretty dominant, and his accuracy was insane. So yeah, that was really cool. But,
being on the desk when Jeremy missed that Oscars question after using 2 repeats and missing it, and not being able to pull either Everything Everywhere All at Once or Streetcar Named Desire, I was like, oh, something's in his head. And I think that was the moment as a host where I was like, oh, I think there's no possible way I think Cam is losing this match after that miss. Just sometimes those things happen with players that they just can't come back from. But I'm sure we're going to see Jeremy later down in the season. So who knows? So best of luck to him.
Absolutely. And then on the team side, Ginyu versus Bring Out Your Dad, a matchup I was really excited to put on. Did not disappoint. You guys both put on great performances. And I think that it was a really great sort of headliner for the Mayhem melee side of the event. It was a great thing to put at the end for a lot of reasons, but namely Ginyu defending and Ginyu running away like fucking coward. No, I'm kidding. But going out on top, going out at an event that they've really owned since the beginning. It was a really sweet moment. Still one of the most shocking things ever. No one, genuinely, I think we said in the match, no one knew but Ginyu going in that they were going to drop it. Were you going to drop it win, lose, or draw, or only if you won?
We really talked about the win was the thing that was going to make us drop it, because both me and David, we wanted to go out holding the belts. It's something no team's champion has ever done in Melee teams. We wanted to be the first people to retire with the belts. Concept, unfortunately, they did retire at Mayhem. They didn't go out with the belts. Kumite retired on a win. Didn't go out with the belts. We wanted to be that first people. And when we got that 20th win, we were like, there's nothing left for us to prove. We've gotten to the end of the road. Why don't we just hang it up at the highest point that we can? And it felt good to go out playing such great people like Dylan and Jeremy. Like it was said in the post match, there are maybe no 2 people I think that are more fun to root for than Dylan and Jeremy. Some of the most likable people in this league, and I love watching that team. But yeah, I could not be more proud of what me and David did. I didn't say it in the post match. This is not an invitation to say I'm a free agent in teams. Like, I am taking a step back from teams. And I think part of that, I enjoy that now now there's a full division that I can now look at from a completely unbiased point of view as someone who is on the leadership team. I do think that is kind of necessary to have that like unbiased eye looking at it now, and I'm happy I can look at the league from that point.
Dylan, you fucking lost like a bitch. No,
I know. Yeah, we got fucking slapped around. It was crazy.
You and Jeremy played a really great game. To be totally honest, it was very close. And you guys definitely kind of hit a speed bump in round 4. Both teams did. That new round 4 really just kneecapped both teams. But you guys did really well in that match overall. You said it afterwards, and I'm going to say it with you just to keep the bit alive. But you guys are the ones that retired Ginyu. You're the team that put Ginyu's ass in the dirt. Even
they were scared of the rematch.
They don't want to play you and Jeremy twice. How are you feeling about that match?
Yeah, I felt really good about it. I mean, yeah, like I said, we were worried, or at least I was worried. I don't know about Jeremy. I was worried about the potential of a knockout, so I just wanted to keep it close. And yeah, I'm glad we were able to do that. Yeah, I'm sure we all have our regrets on that round 4 playing it in the moment. Yeah, there was a couple things we could have done differently there, but hey, that's what's going to happen. I guess when you introduce a new round, there's going to be some growing pains at first. People need to figure out the strategy to work around that. And yeah, it was a fun experience. Yeah, shout out to the writers. There were some great questions all throughout the match. Yeah, I mean, Payson and I had some of our issues, not going to lie, about round 4, but honestly, the rest of the rounds, they were like really solid questions. So it was good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that was Mayhem. If you guys have questions, fire them in the chat. We're going to get to them at the end. But for now, we're going to address what Act 4 and Brave New World really means. So like we said, the singles title is non-permanent this year. It seems to change hands every time a new person steps in the ring. And that's sort of the challenge with Act 4. With everyone who is stepping in to the Act 4 picture, almost all of them have never played for the singles title. And they're all people who are in that bubble in a post pick'em tournament where a lot of our best contenders already vied. The next round is people who normally don't get to be in those pictures getting a chance to really prove it. So a couple of those people are going through. And then you're going to notice 2 names that have definitely played in that arena who were not in the last picture. One exception, but I'll explain that later. Who are also in this picture, and it's going to make it kind of a fun twist. So Act 4 single picture starts off this weekend. You can expect 5 matches to start this weekend off as we launch Act 4. We're giving you a big Mayhem weekend, starting with the German 3 versus the Brethren Court in the trios. We're going to continue that on. So that is Kirk, that is Mike, and that is Matt versus Meltzer, Joe, and myself in trios. Then we have a debut teams match that was supposed to come out a little earlier, had to be delayed a little bit. Lights, Camera, Action versus Sam and Tom will also be coming out this weekend. So we got 2 new rookie teams with Cameron Holtzman and Cameron Redshaw playing Tom Hausman and Sam Rogal. It's going to be a fun team. I'm very excited to see both step into the melee ring. And then we get 2 singles matches that are part of that introductory picture. We're launching you headfirst in with 2 matches. We have Joe Fairley versus Jeremy Potters. They are both in this picture. They face off in the first round. One of them is giving an opportunity to go on a run to play for their first singles title. Jeremy just played for his first teams. He has a chance to do it now in singles here in Act 4. First step in that path is Joe Fairley, who had a pretty miracle run in Act 3 on Tequila Mockingbird with Alex Martinez. So that's pretty exciting to see these 2 fandom players really step into melee and strut their stuff. And then Dylan Van Thine's back in the Act 4 picture. He has a shot to go get his belt back. He's playing Jordan Owens this weekend in the first round of this picture. Someone who's been really sneaky solid throughout his career. I'm very excited to see you 2 play.
Trio's teammate, Jordan.
Yes, it's protecting your neck Civil War.
It is. It's a protection next Civil War. And the last match of the weekend is another teams match. The Realm's Delight Jack and Kaiser back in an 0-1 match with a team that technically lost their debut but does not have the loss on the record, which is Blame Canada. That's Eric Moreno and Ryko the Psycho. They are coming back in teams to play Kaiser and Jack. That comes out this weekend, and we'll talk about the team's picture a little bit later. But I wanted to just highlight what's coming this weekend specifically. So you guys, if you have comments on those matches, go ahead before I start breaking down the singles picture.
I think I won't comment on my own match, but I will say I'm very excited about. For one, I think Lights, Camera, and Action versus Sam and Tom is like a really exciting debut match. We brought it up, I think, on the last preview that we did for the previous act because it was supposed to be there. But like I think like Tom has been playing really good in his rookie year over here in Multiplex, and I think I've seen them as a team play in like Ontal, and they did some pretty impressive stuff over there. Also, they only played like I think 2 matches in Ontal, so there's still like there's not a lot of game tape on them really like anywhere like across any leagues. So they're a true unknown coming into this, and those can I think result in like some of the biggest upsets. So like I think a lot of people are going to be going in expecting Lights, Camera, and Action to get the win, but I don't think you can really count out Sam and Tom. Yeah, also Joe Fairley versus Jeremy Potters, I think, is a fascinating one because they have very similar strengths, I'd say. They both like the fandom stuff. And, like, I think Jeremy has just been, like, he's been, like, playing so well this season. Like, he was a good player before, but this season it seemed like a fire was, like, lit under him, and he's been playing, like, just lights out, like, almost like a completely different player. So I'm excited to see how far he could potentially go in this picture. So yeah, those are 2 that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, as opposed to Bring Out Your Dead being one of the more likable teams, I don't think there's a team I dislike seeing win more than Tequila Mockingbird. Like every time those 2 win and they're just laughing maniacally, like how did we win? It just fills me with so much rage. But I still like Joe as a person. I do want to be clear. And I do think Joe versus Jeremy is going to be a really, really fun match. And then, yeah, like what Dylan said, like I think Sam and Tom, Alex, I'm sorry. I hate you guys so much. Please just die. Both LCA and Sam and Tom, I think, are the 2 most exciting rookie teams this year. And I can see either one of those going for that vacant belt later down the line. So I'm really excited. And yeah, I'm excited to see Dylan versus Jordan Owens. I just think that's going to be a fun match. I think, like, people don't talk about this. Dylan is one of the more, like, funnier competitors to watch because he just plays off the humor of whoever he's playing really, really well. And yeah, I just think it's going to go for a very entertaining match.
Absolutely. So we're gonna focus purely on the singles half now that I kind of broke down the 5 matches you're going to see starting tomorrow. But on the singles half, like I said, Joe versus Jeremy and Dylan versus Jordan are part of that picture. Continuing on that side of it, another person or a couple of people that you're going to recognize. We then have Antonio Chavez versus Kirk Kowalkowski. Both are involved in the Act 4 picture. Both veterans that have been here since 2019 as well. Neither played for the singles title. They're both here around that 500 range with a shot to sort of explode ahead in this picture in a one-on-one. I'm excited to see either of them really move on in this picture, both getting a real shot to kind of compete. And then the next matchup after that being Dean Manis versus Ryko Krimenak, or Ryko the Psycho, who I think is the frontrunner for Rookie of the Year, taking on Dean, who has had quite the quiet comeback, I think, in his career so far. Has been playing really well, even in losses leading up this year. Beat Jacob Cameron earlier in the year to be in this position. So Dean versus Ryko, I think, is also interesting. They're both in this title picture as well, giving sort of new blood a chance to compete for a title in Act 4. So that's kind of an exciting moment as well. And from there, to give you a little extra sort of build to where we're going, the winner of Jeremy and Joe will then play the winner of Dylan and JPO. So there is the potential for Bring Out Your Dead to face each other in the second round of this picture. There's also the chance for JPO to be facing Joe Fairley. So a lot of interesting matchups. I think a lot of people who can break out those 4 guys in the potential to play each other. On the opposite side of that, The winner of Kirk and Antonio gets a bit of a bye, gets a little bit of a step back moment, because the winner of Dean and Ryko will be playing Scott Harvey, another player who has had really strong success in teams this year through Law Deal, has played really well across the board. He finds himself with an opportunity to prove himself with a singles potential title match by beating some new blood on his half of the picture. The winner of those three will play the winner of Kirk and Antonio. So once you have all those mixed together, any of those potential combinations, the winner of Joe, Jeremy, Dylan, and JPO will play the winner of Kirk, Dean, Ryko, and Scott and Antonio, being the people on each side that'll play each other. So that kind of puts them all together. Yeah, recently engaged Scott Harvey.
Yes. Congratulations. Yes.
For Movie Melee, congrats to Scott Harvey. We really like Scott, so it's
Scott just put a ring on his girlfriend, now fiance's finger. But you know what sounds even better than that? The Movie Melee title.
We'll see if he can do it.
Championship
so
ring.
Will play for the shot to face Cameron Holtzman at the end of Act 4. And you'd think that would be the end of it. You'd think that was originally the end of it. It was the end of it. But there was a conversation I had with Cody where we were going down the list of all the things we had to accomplish this year, all the people that we had to make things up for, all the people that we had to make sure got the things they needed. And the person we realized we hadn't addressed from last season was Payson Johnson. Payson Johnson earned a shot at the Fatal 4-Way title at the end of last season, and unfortunately had to drop out of that match for reasons not his fault. So we promised him we'd make it up to him at some point this year. We had not done that at this point. Hadn't really had an opportunity to. With Platinum Ticket, and then the last one standing cash in, and the tournament, which he was already in. There really wasn't an opportunity that preceded ourselves to give Payson that shot. He now has it. Payson is in the number 1 contenders match at the end of Act 4. So no matter who comes out of that run there, if it's Kirk, if it's Dylan, if it's JPO, if it's Potters, whoever comes out of that is playing Payson in a number 1 contenders match for a shot at Cameron Holtzman for the title. So that is an exciting cap on the singles side of it. No matter what, the only person who could be a 2-time champion out of that is Dylan, and the only person who has played for the belt besides Dylan in that section is Payson. Everyone else, first-time challenger, first-time champion. It will be an exciting run in to see who Cameron Holtzman's first defense attempt will come against. You guys are both in it, so you guys can speak to your paths. You can speak to the people in it. Tell me right now, how are you feeling, and who is your pick, sneaky pick, to be the one playing at the title match? So
yeah, I'll start this one. Playing at the title match. Well, I mean, I would be disingenuous if I said I didn't hope it was going to be me, but I'm not going to say that. Again, I feel weird saying because he's standing right here, but I would love it if Dylan goes for his second, for his attempt to become the 2-time champion. I think just watching Dylan play and grow throughout this league has been so much fun. Like if I were to put money on it right now, I think Dylan and Kirk would be the matchup I see coming out of those two pictures.
A rematch.
Yeah. A rematch from 2021, if you remember that. But honestly, like, I just think it's cool that Kirk is back in singles. Like, I know he was taking a step back. I know he just felt really burnt out. And I'm starting to see Kirk, like, even though he says, like, he's just playing for fun right now, I'm starting to see the dial just come back up. And I know Kirk is, like, one of the most competitive guys I know. Like, I know how badly he wants to win in these games. So I think it's going to be – so I just think it's super excited to see him play. But, yeah, also, if we do get Bring Out Your Dead Civil War, I think that's going to be a really, really fun match.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, Kirk is definitely one to watch out for because I think he's been playing really strong this season. I think he shook off a bit of rust in his match against Jim, but, like, I mean, he still, like, I think played really well in that. And, yeah, I think he's going to be really fun to watch in this. I like that, like what you said in this picture. It's, like, a lot of, like, competitors who are, like, at 500 who haven't quite got the chance to, like, got to like play in like a high stakes like contender match or title picture, stuff like that. I think that's really exciting. Or I think Antonio might have played in a contender match, but anyways,
it was like 2019. Like he is.
But yeah, I think that's really exciting. Some people who I wouldn't be surprised if they went all the way. I think Scott's been playing like really, really well this season in all three melee divisions, like trios, teams, and singles. Like he's been having just a great season so far. Maybe even like a sneaky pick for like comeback player of the year. I know he hasn't played as much as his teammate Jacoby, but like he's been like winning way more often than he's been losing this season. And he's really been turning things around. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was able to carry that momentum all the way to a title shot. I think also Raiko is one a player who I like peek behind the curtain. We shot the match between him versus Dean. I brought it up in the pre-match interview for that match, and like Raiko in his previous two matches that have been released so far has scored in the 20s for points, like in both of his matches. Like he's been playing just really, really well this year as a rookie. So like I'm very excited to see how far he can go. And yeah, Dean is riding a really impressive 2-game winning streak. Like if you look at the people Dean has beaten in his career, he's 3-2 right now. Like he has some really good wins on his record. Like he beat James Puckett in his debut. He beat Jacob Cameron. He beat Eric Moreno. Like these are actually like really, really underrated players and good names to have on your resume. So I'm excited to see what he can do as well.
All the ones. So yeah, it's gonna be a good picture. I'm excited about it. And like you kind of just mentioned it with like Jeremy and Scott being like potential comeback player of the year material. It's a kind of a sneaky stat category at the awards this year. It's melee comeback player this year because like you can make a case Jacoby and Amaru are on that list. Like, there's a lot of really, really strong players who are having really strong seasons that can find their way on that list in that category. So this is gonna be interesting. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Ginyu Force is gone. Who's getting the shot to fill it in? What are we doing? How are we replacing the team's champions? The answer is we're not. We're retiring the team's division. It's done.
Sorry, guys.
Playing. Yeah, no. So when it comes to teams, that would have been good if I hadn't ruined it with timing. I apologize. The team side of this is a little different. So on one half, it's a bit of an escalation. It's a bit of a ladder almost on one half. You have Manhattan Project, who beat Blame Canada. They'll be playing the winner of Lights, Camera, Action, and Sam and Tom in their next match. On the flip side, you have a bunch of 0-1 teams in that conglomerate, which will include the loser of LCA and Sam and Tom. Because, like we said, that debut was recorded a while ago. It's supposed to come out in Act 3. It is now technically part of Act 4, but they were built in to have careers in Act 4 with a little bit more time. So both teams will get basically a redemptive shot in Act 4. You'll see the loser of Sam and Tom and Lights, Camera, and Action playing from Queer to Eternity, while, like we said, Realms Delight will be playing Blame Canada. The winners of those two 0-1 matches will face each other, and the winner of that 0-1s, 1-1s, at 2-1 will be playing the winner of Manhattan Project and Lights, Camera, and Action / Sam and Tom. So you'll see that whole group of new blood rookie teams. A team is going to come out of that and enter what is a pretty small 4-team turnaround picture, where you'll see that those rookies have a shot. Winner of all those rookies will be playing Bullets over Broadway. Barr and Kirk are back. They're getting a full shot. In this picture, you're going to see Barr and Kirk really get a full real run at this. Win in what is technically speaking one of two contenders matches with the rookies and Bullets. On the opposite end, the other quote unquote contender match. Kumite is back in this picture. They will be playing back to Formula. Jake and Mark, who are also back in this picture. So you're seeing 3 heavyweight teams. Barr, a former singles champion, with Kirk having played for the title in teams. Back to Formula, they've played for the teams with the former teams champ Jake Marangoni, former singles champ Jake Marangoni on that team, and former teams champions themselves, Kumite, in that picture, with one new blood rookie team potentially in the mix, whether that is, Sam and Tom, Blame Canada, Lights, Camera, Action, From Queer to Eternity, Realms Delight, or even Manhattan Project. one of those rookie teams will be in that spot. And through any combination of them, you either have dangerous young rookies, or in like the case of like Lights Camera Action, you have 2 former singles champions on one team, current and one former on the same team. Now at this point, potentially going for it, you have just rookies of the year sensations, both Tom Allisman and Ryko the Psycho, who have played now with their own teams in this picture. You have rookie teams that we thought were going to have strong starts and explosions getting a redemptive chance in Spence and Matthew, and Kaiser and Jack getting their own sort of chance to get back in it. All these teams facing off will play for the vacant title. So you could see Kumite get the belt back. You could see Barr finally becoming a teams champion with Kirk. You could see Jake becoming a 2-time teams champion with 2 different teams now, technically a 3-time, but his second team, Mark Menchaca, could finally be a champion. You could see any number of those rookies win a belt in their rookie season. When's the last time that happened? Anyway, who knows? Things could happen. It's going to be an exciting teams picture. I want to ask you guys about it. Since this picture, you guys have no stakes. You just are watching. What are your thoughts on the teams picture? Who is your pick to be the new champion?
Also, just to humble you a bit, to humble Payson a bit. Judgment City also did it in their rookie.
That's true.
So.
Good point. Yeah.
You go ahead, Payson. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Just some things I just want to say about this picture. One, Bullets Over Broadway being at a contender shot, I think I think it's very exciting for them. But I think of all the teams right now, I think they unfortunately have the most to lose. Bullets Over Broadway is a phenomenal team. Kirk and Barr are excellent, but they're coming off a bit of a losing streak, and I think this is kind of like their last gasp to be in like that top echelon of teams. So I think of all the teams right now, I think they really need to, at the very least, get to that title match and win that match against those rookies. But whoever they play, it's going to be a tough shot. But yeah, I just want to talk about that other side. I think Back to Formula versus Kumite is bar none my most anticipated match of the season. I think those are 2 excellent teams, 2 of the best teams I think we have today. And I think whichever one of those teams ends up getting to a title match, I think is going to be super exciting. Obviously, if Back to Formula does it, Jake would have the chance to become, I believe, the second player to be on 2 championship. Third player to be on 2 championship teams, because you got Jeremy Adams.
Both members to Judgment City. Yeah.
And then you would have Jake Marangoni. Of course, Mark being one of those journeyman players. He's been with us since 2020. Never held a belt in either league. I think it would be a super emotional moment to see him win that belt. At the same time, I know how hungry Kumite was, not just to get those belts back, but specifically to get those belts back after that last title match. They came that close to winning. Like Jake said, if they were one deep cut question away from becoming 2-time champions, and I know they want to become 2-time champions. I know it's been said before that the top 3 Melee teams of all time, most people would say it's Concept, Ginyu, Judgment City, order them however you like. I think going down 4th or 5th, it's probably either Kumite or Wild Stallions. I could see Kumite wanting to staple their name in that top echelon teams, whether it's 4th or whether it's just farther on that mountain. And yeah, I think both teams are very, very hungry to get to that title match.
Yeah, I mean, that's the match where when that was announced or when I found out about it, I was like, I can't wait for that match, because I think Back to Formula versus Kumite is like such an interesting matchup on paper. Like, I think Back to Formula, I think they are without a doubt the best team to never win a belt currently active. They might be just the best Melee team to never win a belt, period. Honestly, if you look, I was thinking about this recently, and like they're up there. Like, they are very much up there. So I think it would be cool to see them make it. But also, yeah, Kumite is like, they are I think they are definitely top 5, maybe top 4 best teams of all time. So they're going to be it's going to be a tough match for Back to Formula. I think whoever wins that has a very good shot of becoming the new champion. But yeah, I know Bullets. They, like Payson was saying, they have a lot, I think, to prove going into this matchup. So I know that's probably going to make them like very, very motivated going into this, wanting to remind everyone why they're like still one of the best teams around, and like why they made it to the title shot against Ginyu back in the day. So like I think that's very interesting. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to see this just like looking at all the matchups that could potentially come out of this for the title match is just really, really fascinating. So I'm like very excited for it. Yeah.
I think it's going to be really exciting. This picture originally just being like, oh yeah, who's going to get a shot at Ginyu just got super crazy with it now being for the belt. So this is going to be really exciting. A couple extra matches I'm going to highlight that are also coming in Act 4, just some fun things. They're not necessarily for anything, but some good matchups nonetheless coming into this round. You have Kaiser Huang back in singles playing Anthony Tisdall. That's kind of fun. Two former like manager heads of Fun DMC getting to sort of face off. Kind of a good one. In teams, you have 2 0-2 teams. The Roja 5 and Shampoo is Better facing off. One of those teams going to get a win. Very exciting moment for them. You also have your Milwaukee Beers versus Law Deal 3. We're ending the trilogy this year. We're doing it. Beers and Law Deal getting a chance to play here in Act 4, potentially to help them out come Act 5. Who knows? We'll talk about it. But other matchups to look out for. Jacob Cameron versus Jim Green happening here in Act 4. An exciting matchup between some of the lower-ranked contenders to get them back in the running. Ryan Payne versus Matt Cuellar. They're going to play here in Act 4. Some names that are going to get a chance to play. It's going to be exciting. Zach Shelton versus Jack Pinchuk. They're playing in Act 4 singles. That's another match. Evenly matched across the board. I think Jack's back in singles. So that's got to be exciting. Yeah. Another team coming, or another singles match coming up. Eric Moreno versus Brian Nussbaum. Two people who lost their debuts. They weren't forgotten. They're playing 1-0-1 match. They're getting right back in it. We're getting them a chance to play. Also, Mike Hanley versus Jacob E. West. That's happening. WLC versus Jim in teams is going to get a shot to play. Also, 23-19 versus Great Scott happening in teams. Another group of fun teams getting a chance to play. Oh, and Javi, I saw you in the chat. You're playing. You're in singles. You're playing Cody Newberry. Cody Newberry's back in singles. Get ready for it. He's playing Javi. Exciting matchups across the board. Some really fun stuff. I have a couple highlighted here that have the initials PI next to them, and they're in blue. What's PI? Play in? What does play in mean? Interesting. What does that mean? Tom Hausman versus Nick Carley. They're going to play in Act 4. That's interesting. That has stakes. What's that for? Interesting to see. Weird stuff. Oh, Mark Menchaca versus Bill Carriola also has that marking. They're playing in Act 4. That's interesting. Weird. John Mars listed here. Matthew Chen's listed here. Interesting. I wonder what they're... Interesting. We'll talk about that in a second. Got to figure out what that play-in thing means. Weird. Interesting stuff. Oh, and one more fun one I forgot to mention. One really fun one. Brennan Cohen wants to play. He's on the schedule. He's playing in Act 4. He needed an opponent.
Why are you talking like this? What the fuck are you doing?
Brennan Cohen needed an opponent. He's playing someone. Who could I get him to play? Oh, there's someone that wanted to play that has not been on my list. Zadius Smith is back in Movie Melee. Zadius is playing Brennan Cohen in Act 4. Crazy shit happening across the board.
He does it for the people. He does it for the people.
He does it for the people, Payson. So, exciting stuff across the board in Act 4. We are spoiling you. Act 4 is like a double-length, action-packed thing. Full of great Oh, Cody's here to talk about why he's got to play.
Man, excel the Lord.
Oh, he just dipped out. There he is.
Are you mad that you're playing Hobby? Is that what you're upset about?
What is this voice you're doing?
Oh, sorry.
What is this? What does this mean? What? Like you're under the sewer. Stop it. And no, if Javi says he doesn't care one time in my match, the match ends. Whatever the score ends, just end it.
I agree.
Loser leaves town match. Can never play in Melee again singles. Me versus
Should-
Are you putting the stakes on?
Hobby, do you want those? Hobby agreed to it in the chat right now. We'll put the stipulations on it.
winner leaves town. He can never play singles in Melee again because he clearly won't care. But I want that on the record.
I want to see.
I like the drama of the call. I'll make it happen. So that's
I'm gonna
interesting.
go lose the pace in 11 minutes. So bye.
Well,
But that's
I can't leave. I can't leave. Oh gosh. I'm leaving.
Can't leave.
Yeah,
Stuck in purgatory.
get out of here.
Dylan, I wonder who wins between us and FANDOM.
Okay.
But anyway,
We're gonna get angry messages from that.
lots of crazy stuff. Almost double length act. I do not agree. I like playing Melee. Fair enough, Hobby. You know what? We don't have to put the stipulation on it. That's just he just thought you didn't care. Extra length Act 4 is going to be exciting, but that means Act 5. Does that mean Act 5 is shorter? Does that mean Act 5 is what's happening in Act 5? Well, Act 5's current status is in a bit of turmoil.
It's back! It's
That's
back!
right. That's right. Tag Team Turmoil is back. It's happening in Act 5. The team's picture is all riding on Tag Team Turmoil. All these matches getting you back in the swing, getting you a chance to get some reps before all these teams get a chance to walk into Tag Team Turmoil for the chance to play for the belt at the final act. Yes, that is the entire team's picture in Act 5 is Tag Team Turmoil 3. It's exciting. That's happening. Act 5, we're going to talk more in depth about it. But if you're one of those players that you're like, oh, I did really well this season. Why am I not here? Where am I? You're probably in Act 5. And we'll talk about it then. Yeah.
Should we give, because it's been a while since we've done Tag Team Turmoil, should we give a bit of a rundown of what that is for the newer
You know what?
people?
Go ahead. Tell them what Tag Team Turmoil is.
Oh, great. I'll try. So basically, Tag Team Turmoil, it's sort of like the last one standing, but 4 teams is the general pitch. It doesn't work the exact same way. Basically, every round is 10 questions a round instead of 5, and there are 3 teams on screen per round. Only one team will be eliminated at the end of each round. So, like, if 2 teams are tied for last place, they would go to sudden death, and then one team would be eliminated. Then the next team would be brought in. Then at the end, the person who won the overall, like, last one standing part of it, they face basically the last team standing. They face the team that lasted for the most rounds in just a normal 3-round match, no strengths, all general categories. The winner of that match plays for the title.
Very exciting stuff.
Yes.
I'm excited to bring Turmoil back. It's back, and the teams are all getting ready for that. That's what's happening in Act 5. So it's going to be an exciting moment.
We can't say that yet, Brian.
Brian,
So please surprise.
you'll find out when we'll find out in Act 5. It's only July, guys. That's not happening for months. Settle down. No, but Act 5, tease, sprinkle it in for you. So you can expect a lot of great things in Act 5. But that specifically, if you're in teams, you got a really excellent, fun event with a real shot to play for a belt right there and then. So exciting stuff. Let's go ahead and talk about the comments and questions we have in the chat, if we have a couple here. Javi says, okay, Payson, but, like, do you want to team up, though?
Javi, full respect, no.
No.
But Payson, will you really turn it down if Nick Twohig wanted a team from Kaiser?
Nick Twohig is the future Melee champion, so that is a little tough. That definitely have to think about that. Oh, Rue just posted a.
Will they be asked about alcohol?
Oh, that was about the German 3.
Oh, understood. His new question, how sexual is chocolate really? Well, Rue, that's a question we should be asking you because that is your team name. You have to really be the one to define it for us. What is the level at which you and Ryan are, like, bringing to that team name? You know what I mean? So, like, we should be asking you the answer to that question. Then it's very apparent. You are correct. You're correct. There you go. You got me to laugh on the screen. What else do we have for questions?
Should we?
Oh,
answer?
Cody has one.
Oh, what's Cody saying? Please stop talking. No. I can't. I can't do that. Let's see. Hey, Koho, when can I play David Garcia in singles? No. 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 No.
That would actually be kind of a fun match. Like neither of them.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Those are two likable guys.
Cody is not all for it.
Cody hates the
Cody
Spanish.
says never. I don't think he wants either of you to have a win when in this league. I don't think he wants to see either of you have a win.
I just imagine Cody looking at a world map, getting to Spain, and just being like, ugh.
Let's see. When will you let me play Mike Hanley? I mean, Nazario, you've had a really good year. You kind of shot that shot. That chance has been shot in the face because you played great this year. So Mike has some ground to make up, or you just have to lose a lot to sort of make up the ground there. But I would love to see you play Mike. I genuinely do think that'd be a fun match.
You ruined your chances, Nazario, by continuously winning.
As long as the winner doesn't get a win.
Let's see. Which teams? Yeah, we already answered that. We can't talk about that yet. Let's see. Ruth's just very excited about all the people that are going to play. So yeah, we have a whole lot of great stuff happening in this act. So
yo, shout out, speaking of Act 3, shout out to Rue's run in the singles tournament.
Yes.
The Cinderella story, going out in the first round would have pissed me off a lot more if it wasn't against someone like Rue who just played the game of his life. Congrats to him. He fucking earned that finalist position. So good on you.
I think right now, if you took a straw poll of the entire league, the winner of Player of the Year is between Jacoby and Rue. I think those are your two front runners, which is really fun considering they're teammates. I think seeing them sort of co-front run Player of the Year for Multiplex is exciting. So that'd be fun. Hear me out. Water 2 Civil War in singles. Yeah, maybe. That's not impossible, Jack. You guys are in similar record ranges. It just really depends on what you guys do with your opportunities here. Payson, how about you play in teams with one arm tied around your back against 23-19?
Damn.
That would be a borderline dream match. Honestly, I would do that tomorrow.
Payson playing a 1v2 match against 23-19, I think would be actually really entertaining. Really entertaining.
Tim always called out Ginyu at the end of every match. If we could come back for one match, it would be to play 23-19.
I think that'd be fun. I think that would be fun. I don't know if I don't know. We've kind of streamlined all the events to be just the 5 titles, but if we did a 6th bonus fun match, are we that bad? No. I'll go to bat to say 23-19 is a good team.
Yeah.
That kind of just
they almost beat us.
Yeah, they almost beat the concept back in the day. Go back and watch season 1 original run. Original Recipe 23-19 almost beat the concept in their second match ever. So 23-19 is not a bad team. They've always been pretty good. The record doesn't reflect it necessarily, but these guys are good. I think there's a reason why 23-19 got that shot in Act 3. They were the best performing losing team in round 1.
So from where they are in their rankings, their accuracy sticks out amongst a lot of the teams.
Yes, when you look around their area and it's 23-19, 61%. That's a really good accuracy. Record is 2-7. Wild stuff. They're a great team with that record. They remind me almost of Blockbuster back when they were just kind of we're just kind of racking up losses because we play really good teams, but they play really good in the losses. So
yeah.
How about a free for all, but all you have to do is beat me in 5 questions? No, that'd be a very short event.
I would keep the questions coming, but these two are going to be the ones answering. I got to go do something else for the channel. But thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Payson.
Act 4 and Act 5 looking really, really good.
Thank you for being here, Payson. Yeah, if you have a couple other questions to throw at us, we'll answer them, me and Dylan. But we'll probably wrap it up here in a little bit if you don't have any more questions. But Dylan, out of all those highlighted fun matches, is there one that you're really excited about seeing?
Oh, in the upcoming act, I'll say, I think Kirk versus Antonio is a really good one. To start off the picture there on the other side for the singles picture, I think that's a really good one because both players that have been around for a long time, and I think they even faced each other and went in very, very early on Now it'll be interesting to see like how both, because obviously they're both, I think, much different players now. So it'll be interesting to see like how that plays out now. So I think that'll be a good one. Yeah, I already talked about how much I love the matchup between Kumite and Back to Formula. I think that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see Zadius and Brandon play. I
Yes.
think that's one that like neither of them have an official win. I think whoever wins is a deserving win. I think it's just going to be really entertaining. Both guys are just super fun. So I like those guys. I'm excited to see them play.
Also, who'd you say Jack was facing again?
Zach Shelton.
Jack versus Zach. Yeah, that should be a good one.
Jack and Zach will be a fun match. I think those guys are actually pretty evenly matched in knowledge in a lot of areas. I think Jack coming back with a bit of ring rust will be interesting to see. But seeing Jack in a singles format on his own, Jack played really good last year. Like we don't talk about Water 2 in like a legitimate contender sense, but there's a reason they played in contenders matches. Even if they were picked by teams with shots, they played up to their talent. They
also he was also in the last year's golden ticket tournament, the first golden ticket tournament, and he almost beat John Marr to get into the finals.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was like one match away from a contender shot. So like he's a solid player. And yeah, I think Zach is also another player that was like, unfortunately his record doesn't show, I think, like his full potential as a player. Cause like he has had these moments where you're like, wow, this guy's like really, really, really good. Like in that play-in match he won to get into the last year's tournament, he played great there. He had the lead coming out of round number 1 against Tony. And Tony's like a really, really great general knowledge player. He unfortunately ran into some Amir Khan films in round number 2, which is a rough go, but yeah, he's a very solid player. So yeah, I think that'll be a sneaky good match that people should look out for.
Absolutely. And for people who are wondering, hey, what's up with trios? Like what's going on? We're just building out the rest of the tournament at this point. You're going to see them come one by one. We are currently in round 2 of the winner side, which will then turn into round 2 of the loser side. And then you will see round 3 of the winner side, followed by round 3 of the loser side, with round 4 of the loser side, and round back and forth until we get to the tournament grand finals, that final act. So all sorts of matches that'll just keep coming. It's really hard to keep you updated on trios because it's so consistently built out that it's like they're just kind of tent poles in the year. But it's gonna be very exciting. So just keep tuning into trios. When are you doing and the rest tournament? Maybe I'll get in that. Nazario, you literally won into the semifinals of a regular tournament. Like you just got to the semifinals of the summer series. So I don't know why you're selling yourself that short. You made Judgment hit there for correct. Water 2 played really strong against Judgment. You played really strong against Rewind fuckers. You played really great against a lot of great teams. So Water 2 was I stand by. Water 2 was a good team. So you guys played good people. Tony, best singles player right now, to not play for the title.
He is up there. He is up there.
Legitimate claim. I think that is probably the correct answer.
It's him. I think Rue is in that discussion now with how well he's been playing this year. Tony. I think Tony's one of those players. I think it's truly only a matter of time before he'll get there. Because
Tony, Rue, Matthew's up there.
Yes, I forgot about Matthew. Yeah.
Nazario's definitely I guess he's played for the team's title, but for the singles side, Nazario definitely made a claim for that this year. So let's see. Is the plan to do trios again next year? It's cool to watch him play. We will talk about it, but I think right now the plan is to bring trios back next year in the exact same format where it's just a year-long double Jeopardy tournament sort of thing. There's a chance. Speaking of Americon, is that the best strength category ever? I think no one wants to answer questions from it except Tony. I do think that that's a pretty strong strength. Bar, what you missed is your band and all your titles being stripped. You're the Lance Armstrong of Movie Melee. Have a nice life. No. Brian, yes, the website will be updated ASAP. I just have to give Nick the stats to put on it, which I will be doing as soon as this video ends, and we will see the website updated very shortly. So new spin for trios each year. Yes, it will be new trios teams every year. You will not even the same people will be in trios every year. I might even set out trios next year and just let someone else get a chance to play. So it's not just going to be the same, 50, 60 people playing trios every year. That's probably inflated math to the nines, but you know what I mean. Can we keep Oscars forever? Screw the haters. Okay, so let's examine this claim real quick, Dylan. Right now, we're just going to talk about it right now. Everyone is sort of divided on a get rid of Oscars, keep Oscars situation. I think it's a valid form of trivia and a very valid place to belong, a very valid source of information that pertains to the world of movies. Where do you stand? Do you think we should get rid of Oscars?
It's no secret I hate the category. I don't necessarily think we should get rid of it though. Like I can see why it has its place here. It's just, yeah, it's definitely not one of my favorite categories. But I also like it because if I ever land on it, it's a built-in excuse for why I lost. So there we go.
Get good. Watch Oscars. At least I'll still make money on dumb plastic bracelets. True. Yeah, you will. Would you add a new belt for Melee like an Intercontinental Champion? So I don't know if I necessarily understand what that would mean. You know what I mean? Because I think for Melee, it's really just we only have singles, we have teams, and we'll have trios. But like, I don't necessarily know what a new belt could look like for Melee. You know what I mean? Like if you had a pitch, I'd hear you, but I don't know what that would be. So
yeah, I don't know enough about wrestling to understand what Brian's going for there, but
yeah. I mean, interesting idea. I don't know what it would be. So I cannot host matches where Amir Khan uses strength. That's right. Yeah, yes, Jack. I hear you. It's okay. Keep Oscars. Put me in the love Oscars category. There we go. The people who like it are speaking up. Instead of Oscars, put in movie release dates. That was banned. We banned movie release dates a year or so ago because it just got to the point where we didn't like writing it. No one was using it except for one team. It really Nolan and Tarantino'd itself out. Though we kind of have circled back around on those two where now it's been so long that if you request Nolan and Tarantino, we will oblige. It's just probably going to be a little tougher than you would expect. But even then we might be able to reset that policy even now too, where it's like, yeah, Nolan Tarantino can be asked and we'll just ask you normal questions. Who knows? But movie release dates is gone for a while at least still, if not forever. So, but no, Oscars will not be going away anytime soon. Any more questions? Keep hitting us. Do you think we should bring back movie release dates, Dylan? Do you like movie release dates?
I mean, it's fine. Like, I don't know. I haven't really missed it too much since it left. I mean, I feel like Oscars kind of is movie release dates, but with more. So it's more interesting than movie release dates, in my opinion.
There's more things to do with Oscars than movie release dates.
Yeah, it's not just what came out this year. It's like, oh, what won in this year, you know? There's more a different element to it.
Important people in history. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Hats or Genos? I don't know what those are. What are you talking about? Is that pizza or something? Or sandwiches? Or I don't know. Is that an East Coast thing? I don't know. I live in North Dakota. We don't have anything except for McDonald's. The best burger I can get is a local joint called Burger Time, and it's great. Nice. Your question neither. Although Pat's is overhated, it's fine. Okay.
We have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know what this is, Bar. Oh, also, if you have not been reading the multi-blog articles, do it because the latest one Bar wrote, and it was fantastic.
Yes.
The interviewing the champion about what he would give as information. I think all champions should write something like that. But Bar is absolutely the first person I'd ask, or at least one of the first two. But I think he's one of the first people I'd go to, if not the first. I think Bar's got a great knowledge. Oh, cheesesteaks. Bar, I live in North Dakota. We don't have cheesesteaks, dude. Would you ever consider a 60s category and only have classic up to the 50s? I don't know. That's an interesting thing. I don't know how many people would actually use just 60s as a strength or randomize it that way. It's definitely something interesting to consider. I'm always down for like talking about readjusting the lines on classics and categories, but I think for now, at the very least, if we entertained it, it wouldn't start till next year. But classics at least will end in 1969 for now.
I, for one, like classics where it is. So, yeah.
Well, I think it's fine as it is. But I do understand the sort of line in the sand on classics, whether you include the 60s or don't include the 60s.
Yeah. See, the problem with that is The unfortunate part is like not a lot of players in this league really watch movies from the 60s or earlier. So if we split it up into 2 categories and then they can both be on the wheel, people are not going to be happy and they're not going to have as much fun.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. So yeah, no, I think that's a good point.
It's an interesting suggestion. Yeah, it's just I can't see us making that change anytime soon, but who knows?
Who knows? I also see people asking about when we're going to make 2020s a category, and I would say we will not be doing that until we are at least over halfway through the decade. You will not see 2020s become a category until we are at least in 2026. That would be the earliest you would see a 2020s. I would opt for probably not even until like 2028 or 2029 if we're still doing this. So,
and for Brian's question, you can use that as a strength.
Yeah, you can use that as a strength.
Using it as a strength, yeah.
Strength.
We don't have hyper specific general categories where it's just a person or studios. So like, yeah. No, yeah, by all means, if you want to use it as a strength, go for it.
Yeah, no, I love when people come to me and they're like, "Hey, I have an idea for this." Ryko does it every now and then, where he's like, "Here's a strength idea," and I'm like, "Cool, use it if you want." I don't know, like I don't have to tell you. It's not going to be a general thing, but Ryko, you call yourself old all the time. What are you talking about? I don't have to call you old. You call yourself old, man. But no, you're a spry man, Ryko. You're a spry. If there are no more questions, I'll give a couple. Another minute for people to ask, but then we'll wrap this up. But I think Act 3 was probably the best act so far. Dylan, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is the introduction of our new call-out tournament. I know we didn't talk about it we didn't talk about it a lot, but we are very, very happy with how that went. Like it was a wild tournament, some great runs from people that I don't think a lot of people would have expected going into it. You also had the return of Joseph Olivas in there, who looked like a titan who was about to tear through the tournament. And he played very well. He lost to the current singles champion in round 2, but he's proving to show he's just as good as he was before. So I'm excited to see him back. Yeah. Overall great act. I thought it was great. Yeah.
Absolutely. I would say Act 3 is our best too. The call out tournament is great. The pick'em style, call out style, whatever we should formally find a way to talk about it. Right. But I like it a lot. And let's just say this is not the last time you're going to see that format this year. You'll see it somewhere before the year ends, maybe. Ryko, I love the call out format. Will you add teams next year? Yes. Yeah. Oh, cool. You'll be seeing the format applied to teams next year. I won't say when, I won't say where, I won't say how, but you will see the call-out format in teams in 2025, and I'm very excited to implement that into teams. So it'll be exciting for sure. So yeah, but yeah, I like the call-out format a lot. I'm excited to see when we next use it, how we use it, who's involved in it, what that looks like. Because I think we took that format and we put a little extra juice in it for the next round. So I think it's going to be exciting to see how that goes. So yeah. I think that's going to do it. So thank you guys so much for making this town hall really fun. Thank you for making Movie Melee really fun. Yes. Without you guys, Mayhem would not have been nearly as successful, wouldn't have been nearly as emotional. Thank you to Dylan for all he does. This man is literally my rock. If I did not have Dylan and Payson, I would go crazy. So those guys are great. Thank you to Payson who was here. He did great. And thank you to Ginyu and Holtzman. But I want to throw another little thank you to Ginyu for everything they did for the league as team champs. 3-time team champs. What a way to go out. So stay tuned. Brave New World kicks off tomorrow. Act 4. 5 matches this weekend on a Movie Melee. Going to be great. We're spoiling you to start. We're hitting the ground running. So tune in. 5 matches this weekend over Thursday, Friday. You're going to want to see it. Starts with Brethren Court and German 3 going at it in trios to start. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys. Peace.